So it turns out this PC kind of sucks.
Yeah, I was ripping my hair out trying to figure out what's wrong with it.
Now that he has no more hair to rip out, I figured we might as well fix it. The Height Y70 dual chamber ATX PC case provides users the familiar look and feel of the Y60, but with an increased component compatibility and thermal performance. With 4 unique colorways and a beautifully crafted 3-piece panoramic glass, the Y70 provides a clear window into the heart of your PC. Its expanded 4-slot vertical GPU support with an included 4.0 PCIe riser cable provides ample room for the largest graphics cards, while additional space between the edge of the card and the glass provides improved airflow. Up to 3 120mm fans can be mounted below the GPU to provide a direct path of cooling, while up to 360mm AIOs can be mounted to both the top and side. Y70 also provides up to 180mm of clearance for air coolers. To learn more about the Height Y70, visit the sponsored link in the description below. So this is Phil's NRP 200 Max build that I did a while ago. It's fully water cooled, but there's something wrong with it. Like, it is...
Yeah.
Is this screwed down?
No.
Okay. That wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe I wasn't glass. Anyway, it's a fully water-cooled RTX 4080. It's got a 13700K in there, and your GPU is getting to what, 100C hotspot?
100C hotspot, and then around like high 70s on the edge temp, which is not good on water.
For two 280s, considering we have full-size fans and everything in this.
And it used to be fine. So just recently the temp started creeping up. So that's why I was telling Jay, like, hey, we should probably take a look at it.
Yeah, the block is probably fine, to be honest. I don't think there's an issue with the block. I've never had a block mount change over time. I'm thinking something's happened with that pump, because we are using a CPU pump combo because of the small form factor.
Ironically, it's the only EK part in here. So it's probably that way. Yeah, it's probably
it was EK.
Yeah.
I forgot. I don't know.
It's the only EK part.
It was like a $400 combo thing. Anyway, I forgot about that's what that was. So anyway, here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna take all the guts out. Phil's finally gonna be stepping up to a larger case. This guy, which is still pretty big for what it is. Anyway, so we're gonna be putting an actual loop in there and show him the CPU block you're gonna use.
Biased a little bit, but...
Fun fact, it's the last one I have. So this is gonna be a soft tube system because of the fact that Phil wants a rigid tube system. Eventually we'll do that when I can convince him to go to a larger case again. But yeah, so I got these fittings off of Amazon. I forget the brand. They're basically one of the Chinese brands that don't really have, they just have like a weird name. They're really good quality. I'll put a link to them down in the description below. They came next day, Prime. This is very distracting.
It's a really unwieldy big black tube.
No, why you never go back. But anyway, they're compression fittings. The anodizing looks really good on them, and they weren't expensive. And each one comes with a spare O-ring for the mount on the G-quarter thread. So we'll see how these do. But I'm doing soft tubing because one, it's going to be easier to install in the smaller form factor without using a ton of elbows and things. And then, yeah, it really comes down to time constraints. But eventually, we'll get Phil to do a rigid tube build. So anyway, the nice thing about the black tubing too is this doesn't leach plasticizer. All clear tubing, as you can see down in here, will start to look cloudy over time. That's just because of the reaction between like the glycol type of coolant, or alcohol-based coolant to be honest, any sort of gall, and the clear tubing and the plasticizer will leach, and that will happen. Phil was concerned about this discoloration showing on his block right here. I'm not. This is absolutely positively normal for nickel plating to start to discolor where there is the most friction, which will be in the microchannels. I'm not concerned about that one bit. I've had blocks that the nickel plating was completely eroded away to where the copper was showing. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I feel like my blood vessels are gonna pop. The motherboard just ejects. So yeah, the fluid was clear before, and then that's all the plasticizer that leaked into it. But yeah, when Jay takes the block off, then he can clean up Jason. Yes, I've named the thermal paste piece.
Because I screwed up. So I'm taking the block off to inspect, because one of the things that we're dealing with here is that the GPU hotspot and the edge temp were like 30C delta. They should not be more than about 10 when they're water cooled. So while I have it out of the system, is the best time to take a look at the mount and make sure everything's good with that. It looks like it might have squished out a little. But to be honest, that to me doesn't look like it would have been enough to, but now we can clean off Jason. We're also gonna be reusing my Bits Power Premium D5 combo unit that used to be my Inwin 925. It's a little bit dirty inside, but by dirty I mean it's just still damp. Once we put the blue coolant in, you're not gonna notice that at all. It barely fits in there, but I think that's gonna look cool.
Oh, why does it have JC Sense branding? I hate that guy. Yeah, you gotta show them that. That's the coolest part.
Now it just looks like he's doing something else.
What? So this is the Lee & Lee 011 Mini. We can fit a 280 in the bottom, a 280 in the top with an ITX board. We just have to do the drop down. So this has an adjustment to where we can take the back off and kind of flip some stuff and move the tray down. And then we're gonna do the reservoir back here because this is a 240 rail and that's designed to mount to a 240. So we can put the reservoir back here. It's recessed enough to where the front fans won't be impacted. And we have enough offset to do the two 280s. It's so, like imagine this was an ATX sized board and that's how big this case is. These.
Did you miss all of them?
Two of the four didn't go in.
Oh yeah, I can do this now. I can double face palm.
I've never worked with an ITX board and had so much room to do things. Yeah, I'm gonna do a bulkhead pass-through fitting here. I'm gonna drill a hole. My case design will have, I've talked about this. We'll have a spot. So what I can do then is I can just have a hole there. That one, I can either put a squeezy bottle down through, or two, I can actually run a tube right to one of these. And then the fill will be up into there. So what I need to do right now is kind of get where the offset of that needs to be.
I feel like that's one of those situations.
I'm also doing it dry with no lube. And all the metal shavings is fine. That actually is good for overclocking because it gives more traces and pathways for electricity to flow.
The what? Wait, what? It's like the bunghole. Literally.
I think I eyeballed that pretty freaking good. So as you can see, I was off by a little bit, but fortunately, because it's soft tubing, it just keeps in there. And that also is gonna keep the fittings from wanting to turn. The problem with like bulkheads is you go to tighten stuff up that are opposing and it just loosens the bulkhead back up. This is why I keep saying my case will have these. So you have to test fit as you're going because it's really tight right here between the rad and this GPU. I think I'm gonna put the fittings on this side so we're here, otherwise it'll get too crammed. So the fittings are on this side for the GPU end and the bottom rad, and on this side. They'll be down in front of the res a little bit, but it is still a small form factor case, so I don't have a choice. Everything barely fits.
That seems to be the running theme with my stuff. It's always just barely as much space as you need. And sometimes technically negative amounts of barely enough space.
All right, so the loop is done. As you can see down in there, pretty straightforward. Fairly straight runs too for a soft tubing build. Anyway, now I'm gonna do my pressure test.
While I handle all the wiring in the back.
Yep, he gets the fun part. All right, it's holding air now. I just changed one of the caps on the top. Also, this was a little loose. We don't know which it was. It doesn't matter. It's not leaking anymore. So now Phil can go back to wiring up my ARGB and stuff.
My rat's nest.
Mess. Okay, he has hidden all of the madness of wires in the back where we can't see it. So the loop order goes reservoir feeding the pump out into the lower rad, through the lower rad, out into the GPU, out of the GPU into the CPU in, CPU out to the top rad, through the top rad, down into the input or the return for the reservoir, which is also where our drain is. Okay, if I power on, I don't know if there's any lights. Okay, well that did something. Oh, there we go. Okay, just turn itself on.
Oh yeah, I have it set the boot on.
Power restore?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's your all the RGBs
Yep.
on.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Keep going. Keep going.
It's all of it. Hey, look, hotspot 52C. Oh my god.
Yeah, you said it was going like 30 above above edge temp. So you said it would shoot up to like 60 C on the normal temp right
Yeah,
here.
that would be 60, and then this would be 90 almost immediately, and then go to 100.
And then your CPU is at, well, you have 6 threads running Cinebench. The other threads are left to run heaven, so you're not dealing with bottlenecking of your GPU because the CPU is fully loaded. So you're at 70C, 75, bouncing around, and then CPU power is only at 149. You did, under full thread load though, you were seeing like 81, 82.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is bad at all. Because in fact, I know there's still air in this system. It's going to take time for all that foam to work its way out, and then we'll top it off again. Okay, I think your cooling situation is figured out.
Yes.
Except for the RGB on the T-Force RAM, which you can't seem to find the right controller for.
Yeah, OpenRGB did not see it, unfortunately, so I don't know if they're using their own proprietary controller or something.
And these fans are also not running very fast. Like, you crank these up, your temps will be even a little bit better.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess that's it. The whole point of this video was just, we have to do something. Well, we also had to do this, so we made a video about it. Are you happy?
Thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
Freaking sick.
It's the biggest PC you've had since I've known you.
It really is. So that's the funny thing. And it still looks tiny because here's the film bottle.
Yeah.
I love it.
It does. So anyway, once this pops, all these bubbles pop, let it come down, then you can top it back off through the top. You'll just want to slowly fill it, that way the air can escape the tube as you're putting it in. And yes, the top panel does fit with that plug on there. We already tested it. So once you put all your panels and stuff in, it'll probably run a little bit warmer overall, obviously, but you could still speed the fans up as well. Okay, we gotta go. Bye.